guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm so excited and pumped to be back again. It's been a very long couple of months that I've uploaded anything, but I'm so excited to be back uploading and bringing you guys great content. I have been recording in the background and been meeting so many amazing pharmacists, networking with people, and it's just been an amazing journey. It's been an amazing couple of months, kind of trying to get my rest but also doing some work behind the scenes. Today I'm back with a new series and we'll be looking at UK pharmacy and the number of diverse things that you can do as a pharmacist in the UK. Over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be speaking to a couple of pharmacists that are based in the UK and are doing amazing things outside of the traditional kind of box that we kind of put pharmacists in. Today I'm interviewing an amazing friend of mine. Her name is Nina. She is a pharmacist. She is also an entrepreneur, co-founder of GoodWill Pharmacy based in South London in the UK. We're talking all things how she started, the different things that she needs to do in order to keep her shop up and running. It's just such an amazing journey to hear. I hope you're inspired. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, tell someone about it, someone who you feel may be inspired as well. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me again for another episode, another session. So I wanted to dive right into this UK kind of pharmacy world, just seeing what other people are doing. And I have my friend here with me, Nina. Some of you who have been on my channel for a while, subscribed for a couple of years, would have seen Nina a couple of years ago where I interviewed her. We talked about pre-reg, we talked about locuming and the benefits, the pros and cons of locuming. Nina's back, and her story is amazing. The transformation is just wild and just so good. So yeah, welcome Nina. Thank you so much for taking the time out to speak with me.
Thank you for having me.
So let's just do a little intro, for people who might be new here. So tell us just a little bit about yourself. And for those of you who may be new, I will refer you back to the old video to get some more information background-wise. But if you can just give us a brief kind of summary of who you are and what you do.
Okay, so my name's Nina Mponsa. I'm an independent prescribed pharmacist. I own a pharmacy with my husband now. And it's located in Greenwich. I educated myself, or did I educate myself? I got my pharmacy degree from Medway School of Pharmacy, which is in Kent. And I hope it's doing well now. But yeah, that was a very long time ago. And yeah, that's me basically. I'm a mother now, a wife.
So
and yeah, that's me.
So how long have you been a pharmacist? How many years have you been a pharmacist for?
Oh, I'd like to say 7 years now.
Really?
Are you sure? Oh, no, I think so. Because I graduated in 2012.
Yeah.
Then I did pre-reg in 2013, 2013. So 2014, I was officially a pharmacist. January 2014. And now we're in 2022. So it's 8 years.
Yeah.
8 years. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Yeah. I'm the same. I'm 8 years as well. But I think I got mine summer 2014. So.
Okay. Yeah. Mine was early 2014. And yeah, to let people know, if you fail your exam the first time, I was one of those people. So
yeah. And I think
why.
That's very important as well. And that's one of the things that we'll definitely talk about a bit later on in the video.
No worries.
I think in the previous video, for those of you who have not met Nina yet, we did talk about pre-registration exam, which is essentially the licensing exam for pharmacists in the UK. And Nina, unfortunately, but fortunately, I guess, didn't pass the first time, but it didn't stop her from being who she is today and being where she's at today. So I think it's just a reminder that failure doesn't mean that it's the end. It's just an opportunity to learn, grow, and pick yourself back up. So let's jump into ownership. So again, as I was telling you before we started this conversation, there's loads of people who keep reaching out to me who are based in England, and they're like, I'm bored of doing retail, or I'm bored of working at a hospital. I want to do something different. I want to be like a boss. I want to do all this amazing stuff. So you're a pharmacy owner. I guess my first question is that something that when you were in pharmacy school, did you think, oh yeah, in 8 years time, I want to be an owner? Or did you ever think it's something that will come up on your journey?
I think it is something that I had thought about, but you see, when you just think, that's so far-fetched, Like I'd love to do it, but it's so far-fetched. So it is something that I had thought about. I think also my dad had also spoken about, oh, let's do it together, but his idea was back in Africa. So he's like, oh, when you do your course, we'll go to Ghana and we'll well, things have turned out a little bit different. And yeah, I'm a pharmacy owner with my husband. He's the pharmacy manager and I'm the superintendent pharmacist there.
So your husband's a pharmacist as well?
No, he isn't.
Oh, so
he's into business.
Amazing.
He's into business, opening businesses and setting up businesses. And yeah, I guess he saw what pharmacies could potentially do, or what I was doing as well in pharmacies. Like, oh, you don't just hand out drugs, do you? You give advice, you're prescribing. I mean, this is a business. This is something that could go far. And he encouraged me to take a leap. Yeah,
that's really good. I think there's so many different I guess different pockets that we'll touch base on just in regards to collaboration and stuff, but I want to kind of I guess let's start with the journey to doing that. Like, what were the kind of things that you needed to look into? What were the, once you made that decision that, okay, we're going to do this, what steps did you have to take to get started?
So when we made the decision that we were going to do this, obviously money is involved. Okay, where are you going to get the money from? Where are you want to set up a pharmacy where? Because now you can do things online, right? Do you just want to be an online presence, or do you want people to physically come in? And online is, I'm not saying it's easier, but it's easier than finding a place, than spending money on like leasing a place or buying a place sort of thing. What else did we have to look at? Because our pharmacy was an empty shell, we had to literally plan and design it with somebody else, with someone who was going to develop the place.
So when you say empty shell, for those who may not understand, what does that mean? Was it just like there was an actual building there? Was it?
Yeah, we're located in the Millennium Village, and that's a new development. So there was no one in there, nothing.
But there was really like a.
It's concrete, the concrete shell.
Okay.
So it's just the floor and the ceiling and 4 walls, basically.
Okay.
Or 4 walls.
Wow.
So then you have to, in a way, it's a good thing because you can make it your own.
Yeah.
And then it could be a bad thing for some because there's more work. Because so if you have a vision and you just wanted to start from scratch, it'd be easy, isn't it? Probably more expensive, but easy. But if it was already a shop or a pharmacy, there would be certain things in place like a toilet, sink, piping.
But you didn't have that?
Nothing, zero.
Wow.
So, just 4 walls, ceiling and floor.
Would you say that involved more money, like having to put those things in place, or would it have been cheaper if you got a place that already had that?
I think it depends. Like, I haven't ever renovated another place to say, oh, it's cheap or it's better. Yeah. But I think if you're not doing plumbing, if you take out plumbing and stuff costs, I think it would be cheaper.
Yeah.
But it just depends on what you're renovating. If it was absolute rubbish, then obviously it would still cost. And if you were knocking down walls and things like that, I believe it would still cost. But I think sometimes an empty shell might be a better position to be in, maybe. But yeah, I wasn't too involved in that anyway. I left that stuff to my husband. I was just like, I'm a pharmacist. I'll do the pharmacy stuff. Dealing with the GPhC and that. So yeah.
Okay, so finding people who are going to help with the designing, putting things in place, and then in regards to maybe the financial aspect, the legal aspect, the pharmaceutical GPhC aspect, what was that process like, and how long did it take to go through that?
Financial aspect was more from my husband, so he put in money. I have contributed along the way, so together we've given where we can. Ideally, bank loans are needed because it is a massive project. You are spending over 200k, a lot of money.
And I know most businesses as well, people do.
And in the beginning, I think they say that first 2 years of business is a massive downer. But if you survive those 2 years, then you should be on your way up. So it has been like a huge sacrifice. And to be honest, when you start out, you don't think that you're gonna make it. It's like, oh my God. but but things come into place, and by God's grace, like you get there. Yeah. Yeah.
GPhC wise, did you have to have inspections? Did you have to?
Oh yeah. GPhC wise, so there's a long form you have to fill out. The form's so long. Oh my God. When I was filling it out, I was crying.
Remember? Oh my God. One of the
When I
things
was filling it out, I was so angry.
when we had to, I think when we were in pharmacy school, there was this
Yeah.
thing about, I don't know whether it was pharmacy school or when I finished, like when I was working in retail, there's this thing about like, if you want to start a new pharmacy, you have to make sure that there isn't another pharmacy within a certain distance, because if there is, there's no point of your pharmacy being there. Then you have to think about GP surgeries and CCGs, like, are they going to allow you to open all that stuff? Like, and those are the kind of things that, I mean, I'm not like, when it comes to stuff like this, I don't think I like being clinical to an extent, and that's where I kind of do it. But yeah, that's some of those things are quite often.
So when you're filling out the GPhC form, it's more about you and about the business. So obviously you can't just be like, oh, I'm opening a pharmacy. Before you say you're opening a pharmacy, you need to be like a limited business, like have a business name, have a business account, etc. and stuff like that. So that's the side of things that I dealt with first. So you're giving them your business name, who you intend to be the manager, the plan of the pharmacy, how the pharmacy will look. So even before you've done the form, you're speaking to the builders. So like basically the first stage is working in faith, because if the GPhC say no, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
So it's literally working in faith. I don't even know how things are set up in this country sometimes. I was thinking, well, this doesn't even make sense. At least give me the license first, and then I can go to them and be like, this is what I want it to look like. But you're first paying the guy to give you a drawing of how it looks like to submit to the GPhC. Do you see what I mean? So yeah, that was long. They make sure that I'm a pharmacist, or or whoever's going to be the superintendent is a qualified pharmacist. They check your background. They look at your idea. Why do you want to open a pharmacy and stuff like that? They fill out all these random questions. Then you submit it. You pay to submit the form.
Yeah.
Can you but if they
everything is.
But to be fair,
like
they were quite straightforward.
Yeah, I mean, but the money wise, I feel like there's a lot of money.
Yeah, there is.
Even to like get them
admin.
Send all they need to send is a letter to any other licensing body in any other country. So for me in Canada, the GPhC send a letter just saying so and so is a pharmacist. I mean, I could have took a screenshot of the register and been like, register. But in order for the GPhC to do that, I had to pay them £80, and it wasn't like they posted it. It was an email. So you're paying essentially admin fees of £80.
Yeah, admin fees. Yeah. So we did that, and then after that, I think the most challenging bit that we're still going through now is like NHS NHS, getting NHS. Right now we're just private, which is cool.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I think the private sector does have a space, especially in the UK now, because surgeries are so saturated, and people want to be seen now for things like urine infections and things. Like, don't tell me to wait 3 days so I can speak to you, not see you, speak to you over the phone. And here we are as a pharmacy. You can walk in, see us, get your meds, go home, be healed, sort of thing. So that's how we have been operating. Sorry
to cut you off. That's interesting. I was just thinking about, so when you say private, do you guys take NHS prescriptions or no? Can you? So it's just like fully private.
Right now, we are in the process there. So that's what I was just about to say. What you were saying about making sure there's not a pharmacy within a mile, that's an NHS rule.
Okay.
And there isn't, but obviously when you submit the NHS stuff, they ask all the pharmacies. Can you imagine that submitting an NHS form and they're telling other pharmacies, these people are about to submit an NHS form. Do you want them to open? Do you think there's any point of them paying? Like, obviously, I would say no, because you're my competition. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. That's yeah, I thought that was a GPhC thing just because of like
No.
ensuring that there wasn't too much pharmacies in the area. But that is really interesting to know. I think yeah, just I guess hearing the journey sounds smooth and easy. I mean, not super smooth, but I know that probably at the time it was like frustrating, stressful. What would you say got you through like that? What kind of was it like the end vision? Was it like I just have to keep going, we've started now? Like what kind of got you through that challenge?
What got me through that challenge? I think it's just the end goal, like wondering, oh, what are things going to end up like? What's it going to look like? Or you want to really achieve it because you sort of have the plan in your head and you just want to keep going, keep going, keep going until you reach that goal. So yeah, that's what kept us going, I think.
Yeah. Your pharmacy does a number of different things, not just prescriptions. You guys do like skincare, you do massages, you do a whole lot of stuff, and it's really interesting to see. So I guess, did you do any or take any extra courses, do any extra qualifications in order for you to be able to have those things at your pharmacy?
Okay, so things like massages and stuff, I don't do. So it's not me personally, and the pharmacy is supposed to be bigger than me. Our aim is to give people jobs and give people wholesome care as well. So it's not, drugs is the answer, but not to everything and not all the time. Somebody has back pain, give them a massage. Why not try a massage? You know, to dull down the pain instead of keep dosing them with painkillers. And that's how we get people who are opioid addicts and things like that. So we do welcome, we're kind of a weird pharmacy. We welcome alternative or natural ways of treating, and last resort would be using prescription medication. And that's if you need it, if you need to use it. The massages is done by a masseuse who's qualified, everything's checked out. We're signed off by Greenwich Council. So yeah, we do lip fillers, Botox, I do that.
Wow.
I did the course for that and stuff, and that's been doing well in the area as well. What else do we do? Yeah, private prescriptions. So we can also transcribe, since we are not part of the EU and not EU. What am I talking about? Of course, we're part of the EU. We did Brexit and all that stuff. Some people do have their doctors still abroad from Eastern European.
Yeah.
And like we can transcribe their prescriptions and things like that. And so long as they have proof that they've been prescribed that prescription, just transcribe it so that they can be taken care of if they're still in the country. Yeah, we look at people who come in with throat infections, etc. And yeah, all sorts of different things. Yeah.
Wow.
We make creams. We make our own creams. I've even got one here. So this is for eczema.
Wow. So do you make those creams yourself?
I make those creams myself, handmade, made from oats and oils like black seed oil, jojoba oil. And the benefit of this cream is that it does not have any steroids in it. So in children who have eczema, you could use this to keep it at bay or keep it away even. So yeah.
An extra course or like some form of like professional training to be able to make creams and to even have them reviewed? You have to have them reviewed by like anyone?
I just had an interest in making them, to be honest. So obviously I do my research and find out, oh, you can do this, you can do that. Then you mix it yourself, work out different things, try it out on people, try it out on yourself. And it's very moisturizing. So yeah, a lot of people buy this, order it in bulk.
Wow.
And then yeah, we send it out to them or they come to the shop and pick it up.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's so cool.
And the name of this cream will change soon though. So just look out for the pink cream, but yeah. the name of the cream will change.
In regards to the creams, it's just something I'm interested in, as in, like, do you have to get that, like, looked at by any, like, external
Oh,
health body?
so you always have to submit anything that you're selling or making. You do have to submit a document giving them how much of what you've put in and making sure that there's no toxins inside. You also can test, submit it for testing on other human beings or animals, which I know some people are not for at all, but to make sure that it won't cause any harm to people using it.
And who do you submit that to, the MHRA? Or?
It is a business. Who did we submit it to? I think it is the MHRA that we submit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, just,
The work was very long and strenuous, so yeah.
I can imagine.
All this paper, as you can see.
So let's talk a little bit about being a pharmacist, about having these extra qualifications. So you do lip filling and all that kind of stuff. What was the training like? How did you find interest in that? What are the legalities around that? Because I know that I'm actually doing an Instagram live in a few weeks with a surgeon, and one of the things she tells me is, you know, being a plastic surgeon in Canada, for example, is safer than the US, because people, obviously, when it comes to plastic surgery, it's like, it's your fault my face is like this, or it's your fault that, do you know what I mean? So what is it like being someone who does those kind of things? I mean, obviously it's not full cosmetic surgery, but what was it, the journey like getting to that point, like the training, and then what's it like actually doing it for people?
So when you're training, it's always a little bit different, isn't it? Because you have people there. So when I did my training, there was like 25 of us in a class, and we're split into groups of 5, and you have people that you practice on, but you get to practice on at least 5 people before you leave the place. What they first do is show you the basics, show you the like anatomy of the lips, or because if it's lip filling, and then if it's Botox around the eye, where it's safe to inject, where you must not inject, what happens if you do this, how to reverse it, and things like that. And I felt it was a fun day. I came back really excited, couldn't stop talking about it.
Wait, was it just one day?
It was one day.
Wow.
And then there's like follow-up courses, catch-ups online. And I think because it was COVID time, we did a lot of catch-up lessons online, and you can actually ask them any questions whilst you're practicing for like 6 to 8 months. If you have any queries, you can go back to the teacher. I think I trained with BTC. And the guy's quite cool, the one who runs the class, and he has other dentists. So he's a dentist. And he has other dentists under him who are showing us how to inject. It was quite scary, quite a bloody affair when it comes to the lips. I was quite shocked. But the end result for some people is like, wow, I did that.
That's so cool. Do you like, do you have to be like a healthcare trained, like registered licensed professional to do it?
So yes, you do. So you have to be either doctor, dentist, pharmacist, nurse. And I know nurses are really big on lip fillers and also you see dental hygienists. A lot of them actually do it as well, which is cool. But I think certain professions where they're not clinically trained, they always need like a prescriber. So being an IP gives you the freedom to prescribe and then administer. And
so
then being a
licensed person, you'll need a prescriber to prescribe.
And that prescriber must also see the patient, like analyze the patient whilst you're there. Do you see what I mean? Yeah.
Whereas for you, you didn't have to do that because obviously you're an IP. So
the benefit of that is because I'm an IP, you can prescribe the Botox or Azela or whatever you're using, and then administer.
Wow. So good. Like a woman of many different like skills and traits.
That's area.
I guess it's this is kind of an opportunity for people to, I guess, see and understand that you don't have to just do one thing. Like there's so many other things that you can
No.
invest in and do, right?
And yeah, I think it's more to do with your curiosity, or not just staying in one place. Because I think the first time I did the video with you, it was when I was a locum in prisons, hospital, community. I had done different types of things. And I think what I would say to people who are saying, oh, there's no jobs, or, I want to do something different. If you're not comfortable where you are, you have the power to change it. It just takes a bit of risk, like yourself. You weren't happy with pharmacy in the UK, so you tried pharmacy in Canada. And it takes more than just saying it. You have to actually be very intentional and do it. And sometimes it will cost you money. And at the time you might feel like, oh, you're losing out too much to take that risk. But I think in the future, you might agree as well, it benefits you in the long run. The benefits outweigh it. And there's nothing really to lose. Experience is such a great teacher. Because you could sit and listen to us chat and stuff, but if you do something for yourself, it's better.
Exactly. I think what you said is so key. Like you have the power to change it. And I think there was a guy who I was interviewing a few videos ago. So it'll be probably a few videos behind this one. And he mentioned that being a pharmacist or being a licensed registered professional gives you the opportunity to take those risks. So say, for example, you don't want to do pharmacy, you want to venture into something else, that you can do with your pharmacy degree. If all goes wrong, you have a solid fallback. You have something to be like, okay, at least I can go back and locum for like a couple of, months or whatever to make the extra cash. We have that flexibility. But yes, people are afraid of taking risks because of, number one, the money, number two, the time. I think that's one of the biggest things, the time it takes. You look at, owning a pharmacy, that's going to take me 2 years, man. Like, but then in that 2 years, you're going to be stuck at a place maybe you don't like, where you could be actually like building something that you might like in a few years' time. So I think what you said is key about risk. I think that's probably one area that as pharmacists, I don't think it's just pharmacy, I think it's like people in the healthcare, like
clinical,
we're so stuck in this, like it's the same with doctors as well. Like doctors can do so much more than just be doctors, but a lot of people don't know that. Like I've met or come across doctors who are like working for like EY and like all these other, like Deloitte, like, and you think what's a doctor doing there? But it's like different. It's like consulting. It's like, very diverse. But because we're stuck in this, you have to be a prescribing physician. You think you can't go outside that box.
I guess there's a mold set for us as clinicians, and by default, you just like fit in. You get one, and when you fit in, you get stuck.
And you just think. And that's, I mean, I think I said this in the last video as well, and I always say, like, I get very concerned when I come across someone who's like, oh yeah, I've been at this hospital for 25 years. I'm like, why? Because for me, I would get really bored. Like, I know myself, I get bored and I'm like, okay, what's next? Let me see what's next.
But then security is always appealing, isn't it? So you don't know why that person's been there for 25 years. Do they have a large commitment that they feel like, oh, if I stay here, I can see to this commitment very, very well. And some people actually like being in, and there's nothing wrong with that if that's you. But for those who do want to do something different, there's
more, I think it's true. Definitely. I think we talked about it again in the last video about the fact that some people, maybe they have a family, they bought houses near this job, and they just want to spend the next 20 years raising their kids. Those are very, very key points. But I guess in terms of the audience that I receive or I have, they are younger people who might not have those, commitments just yet. And it's an opportunity for us as young people who are still, in our 30s, even if we're like newlywed or, it's an opportunity to still kind of explore a bit before we get to the stage of, okay, I'm in my 40s and I'm raising teenagers. I need to kind of, it's really important. I think the next and kind of final topic I wanted to ask is just, is it worth it? So being a pharmacy owner, would you say that it's something that is definitely, I mean, in the time that you've been doing it, for people who might want to do it, like, is it rewarding? Is it something that they should still pursue if they want to do it? And how can they overcome challenges that they may face?
I would say that it's definitely rewarding in terms of having people come to you for care and seeing to people. I'm not just talking about, so from my perspective, not just selling something over the counter, but someone coming in with back pain and stuff and being able to say, okay, we've got a masseuse here, book a massage. How do you feel after the massage? Oh, it's much better than I haven't been using my painkillers in a long time, etc. Or someone coming in, I can't get an appointment with the doctor, can I see you? And being able to help that person and following up in a week or two's time and finding out that person's actually very, very fine. So it's rewarding in that sense. It is, I would say it's beneficial, and I'm looking long term ahead. Every new thing is hard, isn't it? Every new thing, you sow a lot into it. So you will look at what you sowed and be like, oh my God. But then again, if you had kept it all as well, what would you reap in the long run? So I would say that, yes, it is rewarding. It is satisfying. I would encourage people to pursue, if it's something that they want to do, doesn't have to be a pharmacy. It could just be anything, small or big. In the long run, people, if it's a need people have, it will benefit them, people after them, and benefit you. So yeah, it is rewarding and it's satisfying for me, definitely. I find working for myself much better. Obviously there's challenges and there has to be a lot of self-discipline, and you have to wake up and be intentional and set targets for yourself or set targets for your team, and be willing to like look after the people that you're employing or working with. You just have a different mindset. It opens up your mind, and learning itself, this lesson I'm learning, still learning, is rewarding. So yeah, I would say go for it.
Wow, I love that. I love that you kind of like mentioned the fact that you want to, I think you mentioned at the beginning of the video as well, making sure you look after the people that you're working or are working for you, essentially the people you're employing. Like, that's something that you don't hear many employers say. And it gives you, as you mentioned, like, it makes being an owner, an entrepreneur, or a business owner essentially more rewarding, because you're able to create that template of what you want your environment to look like. So yeah, I feel like I don't know, I'm still not like in the pharmacy owner phase, but it's definitely good to see that you're doing something that gives not just the people who are working for you satisfaction, but also the public. And I think I've touched on this in a couple of my videos. I touched on it a lot on my social media, like just in regards to giving people alternatives to medicine, because otherwise we're going to be taking medicines for everything, You take a medicine for one thing, but that's going to give you side effects, so then you have to take another one for another thing. And I like the fact that your pharmacy is like a whole everything. You're looking at it holistically, like every different area has been targeted. So that's amazing, and I can't wait to visit when I come.
You're welcome. You're welcome to come when you finally come to the UK.
Yes, when I finally book a flight and actually come home.
Yeah.
So tell the people a bit about your pharmacy, where they can find you, just for people who may live in London or live in like Southeast London and want to visit and come and maybe have a massage or get some for their lips.
Okay, so we're located in the Millennium Village, 4th Ratton Square, and we're called GoodWill Pharmacy. What else did you ask?
Like, what's your opening time?
We're open Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. and on Saturday from 9 to 6 p.m. Sunday we're closed. You can find our social media links, so GoodWill UK on Instagram. Yeah, GoodWill UK. I'm on RX Nina, so you can message either or. If it's something to do with pharmacy, any of our services, please message GoodWill UK. We have our email address, admin@goodwilluk.com. Yeah. Anything else?
That's it. I have
No.
one last question. Very interesting. Well, it's not super interesting, but do you work as the pharmacist every single day, or do you just work as the super? Do you like hire locums? You have a pharmacist that every day. How does it work?
Okay, so because of my current situation, being on maternity, I'm sort of part-time.
Mhm.
I am the superintendent pharmacist, and as I said, my husband is the pharmacy manager.
Mhm.
We have another pharmacist who also works, and yeah, I don't think I have to say her name, but
Yeah.
she's a locum pharmacist. Yeah,
So does she
and she works.
in IP, right?
Oh, yeah. So she works Monday to Wednesday, and yeah, she's
Okay.
an IP as well.
Okay. So you will do the rest of the like the Thursday to Saturday.
Thursday to Saturday, I'm there. I might pop in on a Monday to Wednesday.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, yeah. I think it's good to have a different person there and not be you all the time.
Yeah.
Um, just so that, you know, if I'm doing something, she feels like, oh, I think this is a better way.
Mm.
Or if she's doing something, I can be like, oh, okay, I think this is a better way, or we can discuss things and bounce back on each other, bounce off each other.
Mm.
She might see a patient and say, oh, I think it's this. And I might be like, actually, I think it's this. We can reason.
Yeah.
And
Together.
I think that's a healthy way to, yeah,
Absolutely.
to
Thank you so
work.
much. That was
Oh, no, thank you for having me.
thank you so much. Honestly, like it's been because I've been waiting to hear the story for myself. So it's
Oh,
nice to hear it. Also, just obviously like contribute for the people who are listening at home, whether they're watching, and also just nice to see the transition. As you said when we last spoke, we were both locum.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
was
we were.
like, I'm about to go to Canada, and you were like, I guess, planning to leap into this like ownership space. So it's been nice to
Mhm.
kind of see that transition. And I know that you're very big on pharmacists owning their career and owning like that space to do things for yourself and not just get stuck in like don't allow anyone to essentially control what you can do or what you
Yeah.
able to do. So I love that.
And I think the key to that is learning at every opportunity that you get.
Mm.
And I'm not saying stick your head in the books, but practically doing things and yeah, and having different experiences. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think those different experiences obviously then give you opportunities to venture into other
Exactly.
spaces. So yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate.
Thank you.
I'm going to put all the details to the pharmacy, Nina's Instagram, the email addresses, everything in the description box. So please check her out. Also put a link to the previous video I've done with Nina, if you wanted to kind of go back and just like see where it started from. And yeah, thank you guys so much for joining. Have a great evening or afternoon wherever you are. Thank you.